Okay, the 2-minute report says, oh, yeah, that was not allowed. Did New York deserve to win this game?
Oh, they won. KW, I know we've been adversaries thus far today.
Sure.
Well, you want to be on my team for a minute?
Of course.
You want
to? Oh, wow.
Take one, you and me, buddy.
What are we doing this for?
Because Brew mocked us after, I don't know if it was game 1 or 2, for us saying Knicks in 5 and not going anywhere, and he was dusting his shoulders for Knicks in 7. Brew, your shoulders look filthy today. Yeah, I think they deserve to win, even though that was a missed call.
I feel like, I hate to say it, Pistons might have some calls coming their way in game 5. But the league admitted that it was a foul. The ref who was standing there, the same ref that was standing there right at the play, called it a foul, late. He didn't wait for the 2-minute report. He called it a foul. Tim Hardaway Jr. is an 81% career foul shooter, 85% this year. So he would be at the free throw line with 0.3 of a second left. So these are the last shots of the game. With 3 chances to make 2 free throws. All right? Now hear me out. So technically, the Knicks didn't deserve to win that game. Because I'm going to bet he would have made at least 2 of these free throws. Maybe he would have choked.
I think that's fair.
I think he would have made, because he had hit some big shots down the stretch. All right. That said, the Knicks made the winning plays and the Pistons did not.
Love it. Correct. Love it.
Jalen Brunson consistently gets it done in the clutch. But how about Cat? I want to give Karl Anthony Towns some love. Here are 3 humongous shots that he hit.
Unbelievable.
This thing
he made it.
Yeah, over the backboard.
Then
there's 3. I mean, just #3. I got to give Cat all love for his performance down the stretch of this game.
Draymond will take
Absolutely great game. And then here we go on the other side, Nick. Yeah. Cade Cunningham, who I love, and is getting some playoff lumps. But here we go.
I mean, it's a pretty big miss.
Well, that's an earlier miss.
Yeah.
But then remember, with 37 seconds left, here's the turnover. Critical, right? And then he gets the great look. Great look. You got here. There you go. 7 seconds left, misses that, and then Hardaway gets the shot off after that. So the Knicks made the plays, the Pistons didn't.
Yeah,
so I'm not concerned about that.
Here's what's also true, bro. If we show that Cade Cunningham miss again, where was that shot from? I mean, bro,
mid-range?
You've been
he should have shot a 3.
No, I'm just saying, had Cade Cunningham made that shot, I think kids. The mid-range is there.
It's always there.
Always there.
It is there. Work on it. Cade wasn't working on
it. You're right to give Karl Anthony Towns his flowers. He deserves them. If you remember last year, Jalen Brunson was I think, controversial inclusion into Club Superstar.
He was.
Where it was like, okay, he had an amazing year, deserving MVP, fringe of the ballot candidate, first-team All-NBA fringe guy, really good in the playoffs, but are we going to look back and say he was giving you 110 out of a possible 100 for who he is? And the answer to that question evidently is no. He is just a playoff killer. You brought it up the other day about him. You showed the last 3 seasons, but what it really is him as the number 1 option.
Right.
Him on the Knicks in the playoffs. 31, 4, and 7 are his postseason averages as an undersized guard who, prior to the addition of Karl Anthony Towns, didn't have a single other dynamic scoring threat on the option. And even with Towns is a different type of scoring threat because he's not so much of a take-over-the-game guy, and he's a big man, but he shoots 3, so it's weird. He's been really, really special again. His whole career with the Knicks in the playoffs, he is a playoff jumper. And there's not a lot of those guys. Like, the best guys typically are guys who are just all-star or all-NBA level and can maintain it for the postseason. The fact that he has been perennial all-NBA level and then jumps it in the postseason is really impressive. And in this game, after getting hurt, and still, you know what I mean?
It looked like, that could be a devastating.
Yes.
We saw a few of those.
I thought Ant's injury, the way he reacted, I thought it was a catastrophic injury, and then he missed 0 plays.
Yeah, it's kind of par for the course. I think he does a little.
Well, again, him,
Yeah.
Brunson, and is there one more that went down like that and then was fine? I felt like it was another, but I felt like
Luka a lot.
Okay. Rarely do you get an internal monologue as an external
Oh,
monologue.
my God.
Your reaction.
I mean, despite all that he's done off the court and everything, I like Ja. I want Ja to reach his potential. But the more he says and does, the less I think he's ever going to reach his potential. And his potential, maybe he'll end up being a Hall of Famer. You know, we talked about it, Gilbert Arenas. We've seen guys have these fantastic starts to their careers and then kind of fizzle away. A Steve Francis, who had a Hall of Fame start to his career. This is asinine. All right? Ja, you were there for the 51-point loss.
Well, he hadn't figured them out yet, bro.
You were there for the 19-point loss in game 2.
It was getting better by 30 points every game.
Why did it take so long?
Well, he didn't say that.
Did you not study them before the series began? I get it. You had the play-in and all that. But you also played them twice in the regular season. Ja played OKC twice in the regular season. I'm not even counting the game where he got hurt. He was 0-4 playoffs regular season against OKC.
And the team was 0-8.
They lost by 25 points on average. The closest game was 13 points. Ja averaged 19 points on 38% shooting in those games. You figured them out? What?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. This is ridiculous.
And I think the reason he says stuff I say has a tendency to follow me is because he famously, and it was being thrown back at him before he got hurt in the series, a couple years ago, remember he said, he was asked, I think it was by Malika, it was in a pregame interview, a real sit down, like, who do you guys think about, you could be facing in the playoffs? Oh. And he was like, oh, Boston's really good. And she was like, what about out west? And he's like, oh, we're good in the West. Yeah. And I think that was the year the Lakers got him. I don't remember. It was I think it was the Lakers year. But it would have been the Lakers because they were the 2 and the Lakers were the 7. Lakers clipped them. I say this with love. Ja's a doofus. And he does a lot of doofus stuff. Doesn't mean he's not smart. Doofus doesn't mean dumb. It just means it's like a different version of knucklehead, but a little bit more pejorative than knucklehead. Because it feels like you should be more mature than you are. And it feels like you even knew in your head, I should not say this.
Yeah, he said he shouldn't say it.
Right. And then it's like a real-time devil on your shoulder, angel on your shoulder you're seeing with him all the time, and the devil wins every time. They told you not, Ja, don't do the gun thing. Don't do the gun thing. Okay, they didn't say anything about explosives. You're right. Bam. You've lost 8 times to this team. They're the number 1 seed. They've won 72 games. They beat you by 50. It was a hell of a half in game 3. You're right. Boom. Like, what do you, like, you just, and I agree with Brew that everything with Ja after the actual gun stuff has been mostly harmless, but patterns of decision-making or beliefs where you're like, oh, I think he's not going to mature in time. I don't think we're ever going to meet the equilibrium of maturity during peak athleticism.
That's a great take.
I think eventually he'll get there. But by the time he gets there, the peak athleticism is going to be on the downside, and that's a shame. And I think if we talk about Ant, and we're going to talk more about Ant, Ant, I think, clearly has some maturing to do off the court. I think that's pretty obvious to everyone. He's never let it affect him on the court, and on the court he plays a super mature, intense adult style of basketball while he's at peak athleticism. And you're seeing how that can pay off for him.
That's great.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.